national interest to us, issues that have direct or indirect impact on our day-to-day lives. It's always a pleasure to be your host on that program. My name is Principal Ogu Adewunmi. I want to warmly welcome you to another edition of National Discourse on Prince 89.7 FM. Ibadan. And like I always say, we're very much on the social media space. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on Radio Garden, we're on TikTok, we're on X, we're on YouTube. All you have to do is just click on Prince 89.7 FM. Ibadan. With that, you get to have the visual aspect of it, because they usually say the radio you get to, but this time around it's now radio TV. So just click on Prince 89.7 FM and you get to see us on all our various social media platforms. And you can also download our application on Google Play Store at Prince 89.7 FM Ibadan, or you can also listen to us via our website at www.princefm897.com.ng. And as the program progresses, I'll be opening up the phone lines for you to call and be a part of the conversation this morning. So also still going on, we're still looking at, because we're still very fresh in the new year 2024. So we're still looking at the economy, how things are going and all of that. So we're going to be looking at just all of that on the program this morning. So but before I introduce my analyst to you, let's quickly take a short break. When I come back, we'll continue with the program. Please don't change the dial.
Albert Einstein once said, "In matters of truth and justice, there is no difference between large and small problems, for issues concerning the treatment of people are all the same." Join us every Monday and Thursday at 10 a.m. as we engage in thought-provoking discussions with experts and everyday Nigerians who are shaping the future of our great nation. From politics and social justice to health and education, National Discourse covers it all. Join us on Prince 89.7 FM.
All right, thank you very much for staying tuned to National Discourse this morning on Prince 89.7 FM Ibadan. Okay, we're going to be starting off this morning. Joining me to do the analysis on the program this morning is someone that I always say is that's very passionate about Nigeria, a public affairs analyst and entrepreneur, and of course, someone that is also into agriculture. I'm talking about Mr. Akinshola Olusegun. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, madam. Good morning, Nigerians.
Thank you so much for joining us,
Thank
sir.
you very much.
Okay, so let's quickly start off with there's this story that popped up on the news about 2-3 days ago, and that's talking about 900 million naira or thereabouts being transferred from the federal government port to private accounts, and about 6 to 7 top government officials were, indicted or were alleged to have been part of this process. But the very interesting thing, because I got talking with a doctor and a lawyer 2 days back, and he was saying it's not if it goes through the right process, that there's supposed to be an intermediary between the government and whatever beneficiaries or whichever destination that the money is supposed to go through, which are likely going to be probably the microfinance banks or private commercial banks. There should be an intermediary so that there will be proper accountability. But in this situation where we're seeing names now being pointed, and these are some of the things that was also, alleged against Dr. Betta Edu that led to her suspension, and now she's under investigation. And now we have seen about 6 others. Nigerians are saying, should these other people not be called in for questioning? But up until now, we have not heard anything in that regard or seen anything in that regard. Do you see this present administration going head on to tackle corruption, so to say?
Thank you very much, madam. I want to believe that, I always say something on this program, that a government that comes with equity, I have not seen this government coming up with equity anyway, but it will be hard not for them to crack, realizing that they themselves are not coming with accountability. When you have a government that is who upholds equity, accountability, probity, and fairness and social justice, you would discover that it will be very difficult for them to realize that, There is, all these rigmarole we had in the last administration where they say monkey,
swallowed money,
and all kind of thing. So I don't understand. You see, the point is, if by anything the wife of the president came out to speak in public, that they don't have need of anything, that they also are well enough to cater for themselves, and that they don't need anything from Nigeria, and not quite a lot from that. They had to buy vehicles worth billions of naira for themselves as official. So what do you need next? So you look at all of this, where it's generating from. I mean, we look at the source in this particular situation now. If we look at it critically, if we are going to be burning everything up, we'll discover that even the presidency will be involved in all of this. I'm not saying the president, but the presidency. And so there is no how there will be a stealing in the particular department, or what is it called, agency of government or ministry, that there is no way that the president won't get to know of it. And when that happens, you see, the government must, in this country, we should have a government that walk the talk. If you say, yes, I, as a person, I'm the president of Nigeria, yes, my social allowance is cut down, my salary is cut down, and we see it effectively done, not just by mouth. I always like to say something, in my small community. I say, look, when you say something, work it out. Make sure you are doing it. It's the process doing it. But in this case, in Nigeria, you hardly find that. You see, you only use EFCC to charge at those who are opposing you. But if you look at yourself critically and you look at the people around you, the people that you even appointed as people that say, these are your PAs, these are your SAs, these are whatever, you must know what, the capacity of each one of them. And it's, of course, in the situation where you appoint somebody, you should be able to trust the person, even if when the person is dropped on you, because most of these ministers are like, either pays the piper dictated to, or let me say it this way, for the fact that, you rub my back, and I rub your back. Because in an instance that you appoint people that you want to work with, you must be able to readily show that, okay, I can trust this person. Even when you throw 100 billions of naira to him, of course he has need, but
okay,
I think...
Sir, let me quickly come in there, because we get to see cases of people have been alleged of so acts of corruption,
okay,
or people have been arrested or called in for questioning and all of that. Even just recently at yesterday's plenary, when the House of Representatives opened, we realized that the House have ordered the fire service to return 1.48 billion naira COVID-19 fund. We know what some people passed through during the period of COVID, and almost everywhere was shut down. And if we're seeing this kind of huge amounts of money being mentioned and Nigerians are still languishing in poverty, now my worry is it possible for us as a nation, is it possible for us to be able to realize all this money, all this said money that are said to be transferred or to be that have been defrauded the nation of? Do you think we can actually realize this money back from whatever people that have them in their custody?
Thank you very much. I believe that we can. But that also has to do with people, the actors that are involved. We in a country like ours, we should have structures. It's just that we are not effectively making use of our structures. Number one, you have the president, the vice president, you have ministers who are in charge of various ministries and departments and agencies, you have permanent secretaries, you also have even head of agencies such as accountants, auditor general of a country. Where are these people? Well, how can money be missing in traffic, as they say, and these people are not, are not culpable, they are not being probed? There's no way money would travel from the president and it won't get through all of these people. And so if you say that, where's the CBN governor in all of this? It's also part of the process. The Minister of Finance should be on top of his game right now, and should be able to say, Accountant General or the Auditor General of the country, how much has been disbursed, who takes what, where does this money get into, and to whose hand is this money getting to? It's just not just enough to match money in this country. We just hear people just say on air, so amount of money has been allocated and has been disbursed. To who? And who gets what? And you find out that if you go on the street, you just find out that how many people are getting what you are saying they are getting from. Look at the previous administration. They said, this social investment, whatever. You find out that most people didn't get anything. And at the end of the day, it's also unfortunate that the people that those money were meant for couldn't get anything. And so if you look at what we're saying in Nigeria today, it will be very hard. Like I say, it's a hard nut to crack for us to make sure that it's very simple to do. Anyway, if they want to do it, it should start from the president. Because, uneasy lies the head that wears the crown. If the president understands that, oh, this is an office, I'm accountable, I'm a steward, I'm not just a ruler. I'm a leader of the people. The people are, I'm accountable to these Nigerians. It's just unfortunate that our constitutions are not effective. Because if you realize that the constitution says that we, the people of Nigeria, they are not just holding on to it. So if the president should understand that the election that brought him to office were people's votes, then he should be accountable to the electorates. He should be able to tell them per time that so amount of money has been missed up in traffic, and we're trying to get it back. And so from where it's been missed and to where they want it to get back to, and to whose responsibility those things are, then it's just not enough to suspend people from office and then let them be, and they say interrogation is going on or investigation is going on. How many Nigerians know what is going on there? We should be open. We should be transparent. The public should see it. It should be in public glaring. It shouldn't be a secret thing. When you are probing people, it should be in the public glare, that they should understand that this amount of money has been missing and to which office it has been taken from and whose responsibility those things are. And, everybody that is going to involve in the probe or in the investigation should be made known to the public so that people can follow them up. And then at the end of the day, when the result is being getting, maybe well after they find this, Nigerians will be able to say, yeah, we are just on our way to getting it right. But right now as it is, I don't see it. It's still bleak.
All right. Okay, thank you very much for that analysis. But I want to quickly ask this question. And that is going by a story I came across that's about 2 days ago, coming from the Ukrainian government as regards the funds and some of the aids that they were given to them, because the Ukrainian war, there are some countries, supporting them and giving them aids, and either financially or aids and materials. Yeah. And about 4 officials or 3 were, caught or alleged or caught in the act of defrauding the government or having to keep some certain amount of money that were meant to fund the war in their disposal. And we learned that the government came out to say that they have, arrested those people, they are charging them to court. Meanwhile, while that is ongoing, those money have been retrieved from them and returned to government quarters. But here in Nigeria, we get to hear announcements, or we get to see in the press so amounts and whatever. And so, do you see us getting there someday where there is, an instant action where some of this money is retrieved almost immediately, even before further investigations and all of that, if it can be traced? And
thank you very much. I believe that, we can't get there because I'm passionate about this country. I'm patriotic about Nigeria. But see, the issue still lies with the head. The principal in this matter is the one that called the shots. If you want things to be, to be fairly and transparently done, then it must start from you. You as the president of a nation. If they say 1 billion naira is voted for your office to feed in a month, who is feeding who? How many people are you feeding in a month? And who are you feeding? And many people are benefiting from this? You change utensils, you change cutleries, and where is the one change going to? And the ones that are bought, where are the receipts? Where are these documentations? You see, we don't have to deceive ourselves. If you go to some of these, not even go far to Ukraine or whatever, let's look at the Arabs and the Asian here around there. You find out that these people are key on accountability. You see, the moment anything is missing, you will find out that the principals who are involved will be called to order. You start from we're in Nigeria. We are in a country. The accountant general himself is stealing money. So who is supposed to? Can you imagine? The CBN governor is stealing money. These are people who are supposed to be in custody of our finances, of our fiscal policies, and even monetary policies. But unfortunately, the people whom you are asked to guard, the meat are the one swallow the meat. So unfortunately for us, what I would say to many Nigerians is that yes, I have faith in Nigeria. We will always get there someday, but it has to do with a head that is not rotten. And what I mean by head that is not rotten is a head that knows is onions, who knows what to do, and stand upon his, upon his toes that, hey, this is what I want, and I'm accountable to Nigerians. And if they don't allow you, like Obasanjo just said, he said, if you want to do something right and you get to Aso Rock, you just find out that some powers will curtail you. But I know that you are the principal here. Tell them what you want to do. 4 years I have to do my work, and if you can't work with me, please step aside. It's not by force. So, but there is when you begin to pat everybody, the good boy, that's go, let's go, and of course, looking at the president who went on on an international trip, and they went with about 1,000 itineraries. Where is the money come from? You want to sanitize, you want to salvage an economy, and yet you are like a president that spent trips, and you spend all the very extravagant, and so in that particular administration or government, I don't see accountability coming to bear. But if by tomorrow we have the God willing Nigerians who will rise up and who will be, I'm not talking about Mr. Integrity, who cannot be talking about anything, but we are looking at people whose hands will be so clean. Oh yes, we're all Nigerians. Some people, as I was coming, some people say, no, but I think it's a radio station. He said, well, there cannot be any better president right now because the beautiful ones are not yet born. And I laughed because I know that there are better people who can rule Nigeria in Nigeria, who can administer us and bring us better to where America is today. But they won't allow them. Because, for instance, when election is coming up, you will see Nigerians asking for Congo of Gari, Congo of rice, Ankara, and 1,000, 5,000 naira. When you get all this from these people, you will expect in another 4 years, you won't get anything from them because they say, well, I have to recoup the money I use in bribing you and getting into office. But if you Nigerians say, no, we don't want your Gari, we don't want your rice, we just want good governance, I think we'll get there. So until we begin to insist, Nigerians must insist, not the leaders alone. Nigerians themselves must insist the kind of leaders they want and how they want them to lead them, not to rule them, because there is a difference between ruling and leading.
All right, the program is still National Discourse this morning on Prince 89.7 FM Ibadan. Please don't forget, we are on the social media space. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Radio Garden, TikTok, X, and YouTube. All you have to do is just click on Prince 89.7 FM Ibadan. We're still looking at some issues revolving around corruption and how to handle it in our nation, Nigeria. Okay, so let's quickly take a short break. When I come back, I'll open up the phone lines. Then we'll get to talk about some other issues I've brought to the table this morning. Please don't go away.
Albert Einstein once said, "In matters of truth and justice, there is no difference between large and small problems, for issues concerning the treatment of people are all the same." Join us every Monday and Thursday at 10 a.m. as we engage in thought-provoking discussions with experts and everyday Nigerians who are shaping the future of our great nation. From politics and social justice to health and education, National Discourse covers it all. Join us on Prince 89.7 FM.
All right, thank you very much for staying tuned to National Discourse this morning on Prince 89.7 FM Ibadan. Like I told you before to that break, that we're on Facebook, Instagram, Radio Garden, TikTok, X, and YouTube. All you have to do is just click on Prince 89.7 FM Ibadan. And you can also download the application on Google Play Store at Prince 89.7 FM Ibadan. And you can also listen to us via our website at www.princefm897.com. .ng this morning. So right about now, I'll be opening up the phone lines before we go on to some of the things we're going to be discussing this morning. And the number to call to be a part of the conversation is 070 48897 or 070 47897. The numbers once again 070 48897 or 070 47,897. All right, so let's quickly look at the issue of insecurity.
Okay.
Lately we have had some, pop up, especially here in Oyo State, in Ibadan, Ekiti, and all of that, which is kind of becoming worrisome.
Okay.
And the latest is that of the school children that are abducted in Ekiti. We saw the one on Sunday here in Ibadan. One of the leaders of the PMS, Tipa, that's tanker driver kind of, was abducted here, and we'll talk about the PDP chairman who was abducted with his team on his way back to Lagos from Ibadan here. And although they have been rescued, but the police said they lost one of them in the process during the gunduel. But that's a sign that insecurity is still something that we need to battle head on. And with the state of things, people are beginning to call for community policing, state police, and all of that. Let's quickly take it. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. You're on to National Discourse.
Mr. Gabriel by name.
Okay. Okay.
See, I've been listening to most of your programs and the one you are doing right now.
Okay.
But I know one thing. I'm happy the man that is on your program this morning.
Okay.
You have spoken the truth. The problems we have in this country is just one. And that is sincerity. And how do we curb it? How do we get out of this mess?
Okay.
Is that we should be ready to discipline anybody involved in any crime. And the crimes we have right now is kidnapping, stealing. Why don't we go the China way? Why don't we go to some of these countries that deal properly with anything called stealing? That is the only way. That is the only way we can forge ahead. Like the president we have, right from day one, he has failed us. I've used a man as an example in this Ibadan. When I was in PHCN, the man we normally call him Ogu. That is normally. Most people knows him. He leads by example. Do you know when we comes to work by 7 o'clock, this man will be at the gate. He doesn't give a query, but me looking at him, me seeing me. He knows he come by 7:30 tomorrow. You are in for it. He will not give you a query, but that fear that he is by the gate, the home manager, be at the gate with the gate man. Good morning. Until when we are ready to do the right thing.
All right.
Good morning.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Gabriel. We do appreciate. All right, sir. I'm looking at the issue of we're seeing calls for the state police. Do you think, with all these calls here and there for state policing and all of that, do you think the federal level, the lawmakers, will begin to yield and give it, a consideration?
Thank you very much. I don't think this should be an issue we're supposed to be, burdening ourselves with. Insecurity in a country like ours is an abnormal situation, and when there's an abnormal situation, you don't treat with a kiss glove. You don't just look at it and say, oh wow. Let's just begin to, like those jingle they used to say, you want to play with the big boys? You want to bamba? You don't do that. You don't play with the big boys. This is an issue that involves life. Even the Bible says that every kidnapper is not fit to live. And so when you look at insecurity in our country and then coming to do with state policing, it should not be an issue we should be brushing aside. It should be something that should be on the front burners. And the people that are involved, the security operatives and of course the lawmakers, they should come together and form a synergy whereby we can have this is not about saying that, oh, I'm a federal and this is what I want to do. You state, you are less of me. And so of course, you call the governor a chief security of his state, and he can't do nothing, can't fly. He can't call the CP to order and say, hey, Mr. CP, what's going on here? I'm the one in charge. The man will say, sir, I have to take order from Abuja. And see, it's that bad. So for me, I think the governors are the one that are the culprit at this level. If you are a governor of a state, you are responsible to Nigerians at that state. And so you must be able to cater for their life, their properties, and everything that has to do with their life, with their living, and living standard. And in this case, state policing is, I watch Philippines, for instance. Philippines is not up to Ibadan North, for God's sake. And you find that community policing is not something they just strive at or just throw at. This is something that you just find about 4 people, having an office, and then they have a coordinator, and then they have a councillor. In Nigeria, when you have a councillor goes to the local government headquarters and go and sit down there. No, you go back to your ward, you open an office, you stay in that ward, and then the people will come to you, and then you institute another there, and then there you will have your security operatives at that ward. You see, until we begin to do the needful. You see, don't let us deceive ourselves. Calling for state policing is not just the issue. It is just starting from where it ought to start from. That is the word. It is not about state. It's about the word. The people themselves. Nigerian people themselves. The Nigerians must be able to save themselves. Say how? It's not by carrying guns and machetes and all that. It is just about knowing that surveillance is everybody's responsibility. Who is that next neighbor? Where does he work? And where does he go in the morning? It's not that you are trying to insinuate and say, are you prying into his privacy? No. But it's very important for us to understand that everybody around us is a suspect until it's otherwise proven. But in this instance, state policing and all the rest shouldn't be an issue that should be debated. It should be an issue that it should be taken up. If we say we're a federation, for crying out loud, other places where federalism is being operated on, meaning that the federating units, which are the states, must come together and with the center to organize. Security is not residual; it is a concurrent thing. And of course, it's not exclusive though, because this is an issue. But in Nigeria, it is exclusive because it is from Abuja. They control everything, and that is why we have a problem at the state level. And that is why a governor will collect, security votes and doesn't know what to do with it than to buy vehicles and some few artilleries for the operatives. No, it goes beyond that. Why don't you begin to put in vigilantes in places, in cities, in towns, in communities, on streets, to make sure that you parole, you make sure that you do everything needful. From here now, if you look at the Iwo Road, this testing ground to this Abe Bridge and all the rest, why don't you get some people involved? Say every night in the afternoon, let us know what goes on there, and then let us have a control room where all issues are being focused on and dealt with. But in Nigeria, to me, I don't see calling for state police as an issue. It should not be an issue that should be begged at. It should be something that should just come automatically. But before that can happen, I will say that let it start from the wall. Let it start from street by street, community by communities, so that they begin to say vigilantes, the hunters, even at the villages, let them have hunters. Let them have, all these, these people that get our forest, these forest guards. Let's have them in place. Let's put all the synergy in one place, so that we can work together, in unity, and things will begin to fall in place. So that the lives, it's alarming with the way we are toiling with lives. Life of an average Nigerian does not matter to our government anymore, because if it does matter, you will discover that if there's an issue that affect a citizen, it should be the priority of the leader, particularly the governor, the president. If there's an accident now, you're careless until it happens to them. So, but I want to believe that all this state policing, community policing, and all of that, it must just start from, streets by streets, community by community. And so then it now begin to upscale and get into state, and then from state to federal and all of that. And it will be something that will just be easily done, and you discover that every nook and crannies will be policed,
because we know that it's been long that people have been calling for this kind of things, especially the state policing, the local policing, and all of that. Okay. What do you think seems to be the problem? Why we're not yet there, or why? Because now, a former minister of defense has said Nigeria's kind of central security outfit is not enough to be able to handle. If this is coming from a security expert and a former minister in this area,
Okay.
I think it's something that should be looked into.
Yeah.
So what do you think is the reason why there's still so much maybe stifling, or there is still this issue of not still having to consider it, or why it is still hanging, or what are the challenges, or what are the impediments that are on the way of us arriving or getting at this community policing or the state police that people are calling for?
Thank you very much. Where the purpose of a thing is not known, abuse is inevitable. You find out that there are no defined roles for our operatives, our security operatives. You know, the army will want to do the work of an air force. An air force will be struggling with the navy. I'm going to do this, and then army on itself will be fighting police. We are superior. No. We are supposed to work together in synergy. You know, when they don't have defined roles to actually, to be the architect of our security, all things will be backing on different form of challenges. That is why we begin to have kidnappings, insurgencies, and all the rest like that. But if all these people knows their role, of course, in those days while we're growing up in our own days, you don't find military in the interior of that country. They are to keep the external aggression of that country. But today now you find army on the streets. They even beat you on the road. They say, well, this and that. So, but I think they have left what they're supposed to do, and they are doing what they're not supposed to do. This is a clash of what we call functions and roles. They don't understand who is doing what. You know, as a police has to be doing civil responsibility. They are supposed to be guarding Nigerians. They are not supposed to be just being for the RSVP, not the VIP ones alone. But it's supposed to be a policing. It's supposed to be security. Is supposed to be something that everybody must. Everybody's hands must be on the deck, and we must understand, in all fairness, that the people we engage to secure our lives must be people who actually knows what to do. And particularly, what I'm saying in this essence is that the challenges we are facing from this angle of people who are not, critically involved in our security is that, number one, we're going to be having challenges in areas that, where weapons are not even getting to the rightful places, and where roles are not being defined. Police won't be doing something else. You won't be slapping people on the road while you're supposed to be guarding the people. Nigerians, you say police are your friends, and you go to police station, you give them an information. The next thing is that you are the culprit, whereas they will leave the suspect to do something else. So I want to believe that once we begin to put these security architects in tandem, when they are working together in synergy, and everybody knows their defined rules, they know that, okay, I am not superior to you. We are just collaborating. Whatever information the police have, if it is useful for the army, then take it to Navy. If it is on the water, you know what to do with it. Not that the police will not say, let me go on the water, I can do the work. And you find out that all of these things won't get headway. It is very easily said than done. They say, we're going to tackle insecurity headlong. The man said it, he went away. Has he been able to do anything of that nature? So,
right.
We'll look at
the program is still National Discuss this morning on Prince 89.7 FM. Let's take another short break. When we come back, I'll be introducing my second guest to you. Then we'll continue with the conversation. Please don't go away.
Albert Einstein once said, "In matters of truth and justice, there is no difference between large and small problems, for issues concerning the treatment of people are all the same." Join us every Monday and Thursday at 10 a.m. as we engage in thought-provoking discussions with experts and everyday Nigerians who are shaping the future of our great nation. From politics and social justice to health and education, National Discourse covers it all. Join us on Prince 89.7 FM.
All right, thank you very much for staying tuned to National Discourse this morning on Prince 89.7 FM Ibadan. So joining us to be a part of the conversation this morning is an outstanding journalist, a media practitioner, and someone that is very passionate about Nigeria and talking about Sir Fatai Adieloja. Good morning, sir.
Beautiful morning, and thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you join us, sir.
My utmost pleasure, too.
All right. So we're talking about the state police that we're seeing the calls here, and it seems the calls is now being more intensified from every quarters, and that's because of the security challenge that we have at hand. So, sir, I want to get your thoughts. What do you think are the things actually standing in the way of us getting this state police that people are calling for? What seems to be the problem? Or why are we not, if that would be a solution to the insecurity that we have, why are we still, trying to roll around it and we're not just getting it, okay, let's get it done and get security sorted?
To put it succinctly, lack of political will.
Okay.
We play politics with almost everything and anything in this country. And if we must joke with anything, it shouldn't be security. Because if you are not secured, you cannot perform, you cannot function, you cannot impact. Now, when we look at what obtained in the day of yore, you discover that the local police were very, very effective. And why was it so? Everybody knew everybody. When you are operating in a terrain you are not familiar with, even your life is endangered as somebody who is to secure someone. So we need to really decentralize. And that's why you will not blame those who are calling for whatever name you want to give it, restructuring, regionalism, or what have you. You cannot be in Abuja and you police everywhere. It is not fashionable anymore. It is not feasible anymore. You want to be in Abuja and dictate to me the kind of house I should build in Ile-Ife. I should build in Iyaforo-Worogi. Our culture differ. Our customs differ. Our traditions differ. And all these have major role to play in security. Take a look at it. These traditional rulers, haven't they been so rubbished? And when you rubbish them and you only run to them only when you want to have elections, how on earth do you think they are going to be relevant in securing that environment? What do we make of what they are budgeting as security votes? Who get what? Does it really get down to the people? So we must really have a rethink on this issue. State police is the way to go if we must address this security challenge frontally and meaningfully.
All right, thank you very much, sir, for that beautiful analysis, having to talk about the traditional rulers and, how it used to be in the days of yore, like you mentioned. Yeah. But we know that a couple of times we've had the government come out to make some pronouncements. We're doing this. Even just recently, the Inspector General of Police still formed some tactical squads and all of that. But we're still hearing cases of kidnapping here, abduction here, attack here, and all of that. Even sometimes a story I got, I think Zamfara thereabouts, or I think one of the states in the north a few days ago was saying even those that went to take cover at the place of their traditional head was still attacked right in the domain of the traditional head. Let's we have a call. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, you're on.
Wrong number.
Okay, all right, thank you. All right, okay. So now having to come into the domain, which means it seems most places are now kind of porous and people are struggling and looking for safety wherever they can find, and not even going so far. We're beginning to see it also, being mentioned here in the southwest, and it's becoming alarming. Do you think with what we have on ground at the moment, let me still come back to you, Mr. Diyolejan. Like, do you think what we have at the moment would be able to, at least spending the time we get the state police, do you think what we have on ground at the moment will still be able to bail us out of this security challenge that we have? We have the president changing the service chiefs when he came on board and all of that.
Look, it is not about what we have on ground, but what we do with what we have on ground. We can talk from now till kingdom come. All talk, no action. They have been decimated, they have been degraded. And the next thing you will hear is like, those people don't even want to hear such words. They now want to prove to them how daring they can be. You can now see, you can now imagine traditional rulers being attacked. Wherever I go, if and when I have any cause to anchor any function, and I have them in their numbers, I always ask, are you still what you used to be? Traditional rulers are shadows of their former selves. They are not fortified. They don't even know much about that tradition, that culture they are to promote. How easy would it be to kidnap a traditional ruler when kings were kings? They have made mess of Ikpebi. They all run to Obasanjo when they want to assume traditional positions, even when it's not relevant. But because they don't even believe in their own people, our culture has been so bastardized. The way we select
All right,
our king.
hold on, we have a caller. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
My name is,
Okay.
My name is Benga Mario.
All right, Mr. Benga Mario. All right, please go ahead.
Now, talking about the insecurity in the country.
Okay.
Insecurity today in the country is becoming more worrisome. The reason why we are having instant security breaches because the democratic elected governments are not trained on how best to handle security. They only have the executive power to execute their order. Unlike the military government, they are well trained, they are well grilled, they are well groomed in tackling security in their various countries. The reason how it's different is because the issue of insecurity has been politicized, and the involvement of our religious organization in funding terrorism and banditry is a key factor. Just yesterday, or this morning, the AFC chairman alleged that the sum of 7 billion naira was being released out to some terrorism sects in financing them. The sum of 7 billion naira. And from this 7 billion naira, of course, they are going to buy dangerous ammunition. They are not going to buy AK-47. They are going to buy more sophisticated weapons. Unlike our government who rely solely on AK-47. And look at our Motekun. The gun they are using is just a base gun. And compare the man using a base gun to a pandemic, to a terrorist using a more sophisticated weapon. So in that aspect, what will you have? What will you get? If, for example, if I'm a police officer, you are giving me an AK-47 to go and face some terrorists in their hideout, and they are carrying more sophisticated weapons, then I'm engaging my life. And our police officers, our army officers, they have just a different life to use. So, I want the federal government to be much more proactive. Get our officers more, to give them more equipment. If you have a well sophisticated equipment that is much more than AK-47, of course, they have the well to go ahead. Let me tell you this. An average soldier in a strategy is collecting as low as 6,000 naira as a salary. So where do you want us to take that? What is Muri to come from? That is too wrong. So you have to give them a more, you have to pay them mightily so that to encourage them. If you do that right today, forget about it. The government forget about the family. So who want to go and live in like it's just a factor. So I think the government should just be more proactive to ensure that they equip our armed forces in tackling terrorism and banditry in the country. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Benga Mari. We do appreciate you for that contribution. All right, sir. Yes, you were talking about.
Yeah. So we need to, go back to re-evaluation of our culture, our norms and values. Let those who are assigned certain duties be fully equipped. And let's be sincere with ourselves. Even a number of these traditional rulers take security votes, pocket them. As you have corruption at the highest level in the military and the police, so do you also have it at the local level. Money that are meant for people that are to secure don't get to them, and we expect them to function. So we need to walk the talk. We need to stop all these talk. We have, we are on top of the situation when you are on top of nothing. So let's be sincere. We need a whole lot of sincerity.
All right, let's take the last call for today. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, Suleiman is my name.
All right, please, you have less than 20 seconds.
Okay.
All right.
The major challenge of insecurity in Nigeria is poverty.
Yeah.
The society, when they are trying to introduce those that champion for the introduction of Amateco, they believe that by the time they introduce Amateco, they are not going to be crime rate especially in the southwest. I will not say having it. We have to cater for the poor. When we say to cater for the poor, the issue of whether 50% of Nigerians are security men, we are still going to have challenges with insecurity. We should handle the basis. Let's be poor. Let's maintain our poor people. Let's the youth get jobs. They should get jobs. And idle hand is devil workshop. That is what we are having in Nigeria. And we are celebrating money. Those people that made their money, nobody will care how you made it. People will be celebrating them. They give them title, even in religious houses. That is the problem we are having in this country.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. I'm so sorry for some of us that are still trying to call to get across to us. We might not be able to take more calls because we're already running out of time. So, sir, thank you very much, Mr. Ajiloja. Thank you so much for being a part of the program today. And Mr. Akishola, thank you so much for being a part of the program today. I really do appreciate. And we hope to have you again and again on the program National Discourse. And to our listeners, this is much you can take on National Discourse for today. I'll be back on Monday, 10 a.m. with another interesting package of National Discourse. Till then, we'll keep praying and believing for our nation, Nigeria, to get to that promised land. Bye-bye.
All views, opinions and comments on the program you just listened to are that of guests, callers and analysts, and does not in any way represent the endorsement